Today I want to talk about the concept of developing a dynamic shot process. First of all, why even have a shot process? What is a shot process? A shot process is basically a set of verbal cues you iterate through to make sure you're doing your part, so you get a good, clean breaking shot and the arrow hits where you want it to. If you don't have a shot process and you're not shooting well, how could you ever begin to figure out what you're doing wrong? Personally, for me, it's just unacceptable to say something like, I'm going through a shooting slump right now, or I'm just not shooting well right now. What that means is you're basically deflecting blame and leaving your accuracy up to some unknown power you have no control over. By having a shot process, you can break down and troubleshoot every single step to figure out where you're messing up. If that sounds like a lot to do, then just remember you get out of archery exactly what you put in. The reason I call it a dynamic shot process is because it should change throughout the year to tackle your weak spots and aspects you need to work on. For instance, my shot process in March is slightly different than my shot process in May, which is different from my shot process in July, so on and so forth. By the time hunting season comes around, I should really have a nice, concise shot process I can rely on under pressure. Just a quick side note. I really highly recommend getting a little log like this that you can keep your notes in. I store bow specs and arrow builds and all that sort of stuff, so I don't forget them. If you're a gap shooter, you can write like your gaps and stuff. So you might have guessed I use it to keep up with my shot process and change it around when I need to. So back to the shot process, the idea is to create an outline of your shot. So from there, you can decide what you need to work on and break those items down into sub-items and make a new mini shot process. For example, my shot process right now is hook, grip, pre-aim, anchor, push, pull. A couple months ago, my first step was not simply hook. I knew I needed to work on my string hand execution, so I experimented with what worked best for me, and then I built a mini shot process, which was index, meaning line up the string with the first crease on the index, curl, meaning hook the string with your fingers, and even pressure, meaning apply pressure evenly throughout all three fingers. Index, curl, even pressure. Index, curl, even pressure. I repped this so many times in practice that it just became redundant for me to keep on saying index, curl, and even pressure because I built it into my subconscious. So now I simply say hook, which I know represents doing those three things. Same for my cue to grip. Before it became a concise single word cue, it was locate, palm, fingertips. Meaning put the pivot point of the grip into the web of my hand, put palm pressure into the diamond on the grip, and then gently rest my fingertips on the riser. I repped it until it was automatic, and then I used the one cue grip to represent all three items. Quick side note on this one, once the grip is set, absolutely do not adjust it at full draw. Once you start adjusting your grip around at full draw, you should just let down because the shot is already ruined. You can never have consistency if you're always adjusting your grip at full draw. So set it before the draw, leave it, or just let down and adjust it. One of the cool things about starting this channel was getting great notes and feedback from you guys, and someone recently commented on my head moving forward slightly after the release. So you can probably guess, since I wanted to work on that, I built it into my shot process. So now my final push-pull step became push-pull-still, meaning keep my head still. This was a great tip because I do feel more consistent in my shot execution, and I notice my groups come in tighter. Once I feel that I rep this enough to become automatic, I'll just go back to the push-pull cue. By systematically attacking your technique like this, I think over time you can really achieve a level of accuracy that you're happy with and have a sense of pride when you carry your traditional bow into the woods. If you like this video, I'd love if you subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments below if you found this helpful, you agree or disagree, or have any other comments on the topic. Thanks for watching, guys.